we fucking go! You're listening to Bread and Circuses.
Was like the mob media, for one, is the entire world populated. Like everybody's on Twitter. Fucking the UK is on Twitter. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
unfortunately.
With Caleb Salvatore.
Well, they can't go to the comedy shows because there's a 2-drink minimum, and you can't mix the Percocet you've been stealing from work with liquor.
And Nick Kohler.
There literally be people in the fucking 80s that didn't know that nutting in a girl would make her pregnant.
No one's asked that question. What did those families do to provoke Alex Jones like that?
You know what'll solve all of these racial police protests? A Pepsi.
What the fuck is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Bread and Circuses. I am Caleb Salvatore, Britney Spears' newest conservator.
And I'm Nicholas Kohler. I just shot 5 people at a protest right now, and I'm getting off scot-free, baby.
Yeah, so we're a little bit late this week. The Rittenhouse jury and everything went on, so we wanted to get our takes out. We tried to do one last night, and my computer decided no. So I have a story about that. So when I get upset about things, I'll usually go and tweet into the oblivion, not thinking that it's actually going to affect anyone or hurt anybody's feelings or whatever. So last night, about midnight, let me fight it. I tweeted because I was very upset. Like, I was ready to take a sledgehammer to my computer because the new update would not install for iOS. So I tweeted. Let me find the tweet here. I should come more prepared. So I tweeted, "Fuck you and your shitty updates at Apple. I hope Tim Cook gets whatever Steve Jobs had."
Oh, shit.
So an Apple employee replies to me, "Please leave our products now. Sell them and leave. What a foul human you must be to wish pain and suffering on a person. Check off the planet as soon as you can. What the actual fuck? What a pure piece of shit you are. It's been filed internally and now in a Twitter report made too. Oh, and I hope you don't have any issues with your podcast. Oh, wait, you're about to have those too."
Nice.
So he's first off, I didn't know Steve Jobs died of cancer, of pancreatic cancer. I knew he died. I didn't know what it was. Obviously, I don't wish Steve Jobs had cancer. So I replied. All I said was, "Stop fucking tweeting at me and go build an update that actually works, you stupid piece of shit." And then the guy blocked me. So that's the beef I had with the Apple employee today, or this at 6:00 in the morning. He lived in New Zealand. Like,
Twitter is fucking dumb, dude.
Dude, could you imagine like being an employee and telling a customer to basically kill themselves? Like, I don't care how ridiculous it was. I mean, there were plenty of times I used to work customer service for a long time. There were plenty of times I wanted to. I had my life threatened. I had people threaten to come find where I lived. And if I would have told them to kill themselves, I would have been either fired or written up. You know what I mean?
What can I say? Based Apple, if they support this guy for saying that, I'm all for it. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
hell
no
yeah,
shit,
Apple.
right? Well, yeah,
I
no,
wish more companies would encourage their employees to tell people to die.
Kill themselves.
Yeah, dude.
But, yeah.
Maybe we can direct that towards the homeless. Direct that energy to telling the homeless to go play in traffic.
My downtown experiences would be a whole lot more enjoyable. That's all I know.
Dude,
so.
I had a fucking bum approach me when I was like trying to get my daughter in her car seat, and like for money for some dumb shit. I don't know, you know how bums are. They come up with some dumb story, and I'm just like, no, man, you like, seriously, I'm here with my fucking baby daughter. Like, leave me alone, dude.
Right.
And he's like, he just looks at me for a second, walks off, and goes, "Fuck you."
Are you serious? They get so fucking defensive.
I'm just like, whatever, man. You fucking ball. You're not worth any time for
what
anything.
A piece of shit.
Like,
well, like. I
rolled my eyes. Yeah.
Have I told the story about my car lock not working?
No.
So I have a newer car, and it's all fucking computerized, and you can't manually lock it. So there's something wrong with the button that locks my car. I just need to quit being lazy and take it in and get it fixed. And I wasn't thinking anything of it for the longest time. I'm like, whatever, it's not a big deal. Just the driver's side door won't lock. So I'm leaving Don Seeger's house, comedian, a poker game at his house that I won, by the way. I'm leaving that, and I pull into the gas station, to get a pop afterwards. I'm walking out, and this homeless man asks if he can use my phone. And I just ignore him. I don't acknowledge them when they say things like that to me. I just keep going. And I start getting in my car, and I look over and I realize he's still coming at me. And then I realized that I should have taken my car to the dealership and gotten the lock fixed, because now I have a homeless man approaching me in a parking lot and I can't lock my door. And there's
You don't know what he's gonna do, man. He's gonna
Right.
tell you to call the police. The police can't unrape you, you know?
Right, exactly. And like, he's approaching me. There's a car that's already backing out of the spot behind me. So I'm boxed in, and I'm like, at what point does it become legal for me to shoot this guy? That's where I'm at right here. Because I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what this guy's going to do to me. Homeless people love to ask to use your phone because they're going to try and steal it. Homeless people all have phones. Like, I'm not dumb, you know? Like, so yeah, that's my experience. Anyway, enough of that.
I just always tell, Omaha is the only place where I've ever had homeless people ask me to use my phone.
Really?
And I had this homeless lady down in like South O ask me, and of course, anytime anybody asks me that, I just tell them I don't have a phone.
That's usually what I say.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll whip it out right in front of them. I don't fucking care, dude. But
so
yeah, that's the almost. I've never been approached for a phone in LA. I've never been approached to like for a phone here in El Paso, like
fair
in
point.
Phoenix.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, you're
it's
right.
really just Omaha.
No other cities. Yeah, you're not even Denver. Denver,
Mhm.
they just threaten you. So anyway, we while we were gone, there was a major update in probably the biggest legal case in our lifetimes. I'll read the headline. Trial postponed for Texas father and son of killing neighbor in mattress dispute.
Oh, that case.
They keep pushing it back. The boys can't get justice. It's fucked up, man. Fucked up. So like, there's the Rittenhouse thing and everything. We get that. It was pivotal in self-defense. There was the Andrew Coffey thing that was the same. The verdict was the same day. But this one's interesting to me, like, because the scope of self-defense will really be tested. Can you meet a stranger in an alley, already armed, flashing your piece over trash, provoke him for 5 minutes, telling him to attack you, and then when he attacks you, brain him after he did what you've spent the last 5 minutes telling him to do? Can you do that and walk? That's what. How far?
I doubt it. I doubt it.
How far does stand your ground go, though? That's what I want to know.
Those guys are dipshits, and they should probably go to jail.
They're all morons. There's a piece of shit that's dead and 2 pieces of shit that are going to be in jail for the rest of their lives. So it's like net gain.
Not the rest of their lives. They'll probably do like 15 or some shit.
The old man might die in jail.
Maybe. I don't know. They get treated pretty well in jail.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
At least for that. I don't think they're gonna go to like some Max Penn shit where they're gonna get like fucking jumped by a gang of Latinos or something. But
right. Yeah. No, it's a +3 gain for society, right? So,
yeah. They'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly. So
they'll be felons, they'll have to go. I doubt they were working a job beforehand where they, couldn't be felons at. So
right. Not if you're willing to shoot someone shirtless in an alley over trash, right? So
yeah, exactly. After provoking him, yeah. Like, come on, man.
So what do you think of the Rittenhouse thing? Do you think that was the right call?
Yeah, it was the right call.
I agree.
It's a shame we don't have somebody who doesn't think that is.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I see.
It really comes down to the fact that it's just like it's just been politicized, man. It's like if you don't like it, it's because you don't like the fact that he had a rifle with him, or B, you don't like that he was there at a BLM rally doing it. You know what I mean? And really, it comes down to like, dude, a lot of people don't like it just because he's fucking white, man. Like, there's a lot of people out there that if that was a black dude that happened to. Like, even if it was a BLM thing, because like there's black people that showed up with weapons at BLM, you know what I mean?
Well, the guy that he shot, the child molester guy, wasn't really even a protester. He was just there to fuck around.
Yeah,
like he was one of the agitators.
All those people were just like white people agitators. Yeah, there. Like I don't think it really had the fact that he got attacked. It really had anything to do with the fact that it was like, he was there because of a BLM thing. Like the dude had like I'm not sure if this is true. Like you know what I mean? It doesn't to me, honestly, it doesn't really change my opinion on the case at all. But like I saw a thing that like Rittenhouse had like family in Kenosha and he was
his dad lived
from
there.
He's originally from there. Like
and it's they made
like
it seem
like
like
he didn't have fucking reason to be there. Like, dude, it was his hometown. Like, you know what I mean?
Made it seem like he drove from like Des Moines to Denver. Like it's like a 20-minute drive. Like it would be like if I went to like Bellevue. You know what I mean? Like it's not that far.
It's just politicized, man. And it's like I get if like I've heard people like somebody like that I'm friends with legitimately try to say like or try to be like, oh, he's not a victim. He fucking made 5 people lose their children or some shit. I was just like, dude, like they fucking attacked this kid with a. I'm like, if you really think that like he was asking to be attacked because he was holding a rifle at a protest, like how does that make any sense? Like,
there's lots of people that do that.
And then when I asked that, they just kept saying he's not a victim. I'm like,
no, he's not, because he killed the people that tried to make him a victim.
Yeah, I'm just thinking in my head, like, if you're just repeating this phrase, it's like, for one, I've won the argument, and 2, I'm not going to change your mind.
Yeah, if you keep repeating yourself. Well,
clearly the jury thought so too. That's all that matters.
Right, 12 people thought so. 12 people unanimously decided he was innocent. Right. Yeah. But like my thing is like it. You know, the argument of oh, he's not a victim, because I keep seeing this meme going around about, oh, Tamir Rice, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, blah, 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 are all victims, and Kyle Rittenhouse isn't. I'm like, sure, I'll give you the first 3. They're absolutely victims. But you're right on the 4th one, actually. Kyle Rittenhouse is not a victim. Had Kyle Rittenhouse not been armed, he would have been a victim.
Well, but he was the victim of an attempted assault.
Yeah, attempted assault, but not of a murder.
Himself.
Right.
I just don't understand, like, the people that, like, you get like the fucking circle jerk, like Occupy Democrats Twitter page and shit that try to be, you know, well, I mean,
that's
like,
just as bad as like Turning Point.
Yeah, it's just like even like left, like very clear left-wing bias type people that you're never gonna change their mind about anything.
No. It's they toe the party line.
Well, one of their big points is they're trying to say like, yeah, but, and they'll be like, they'll bring the yeah buts. Well, they'll be like, yeah, but you know, they'll support Kyle Rittenhouse, but then think that Andrew Coffey should have. And I'm like, dude,
no, I don't.
Who the fuck has said that?
Nobody.
Who the fuck
I haven't seen anyone
to has said that.
I haven't seen anyone say that. I haven't seen anyone. No, I've seen one guy, but it's just some hyper partisan moron. It's like
some dipshit. Like,
well,
you know, I'm friends with like a lot of like legitimate like conservative right-wing people.
Yeah.
And all of them are like, fuck no, man. Like, I'm glad that Coffee got out. They agree that George Floyd was a victim and Breonna Taylor. You know what I mean? It's like you can believe one thing and not the other. Like,
for those of you that aren't familiar with Andrew Coffey, he was a black guy. The police raided his house on an illegal warrant. He shot and killed a deputy and then wounded another, and he got off. He got booked on the felon in possession of a gun charges, and they are talking about giving him 30 years for that because they didn't get the murder charges. But you want to talk to me, man? I don't think he should have gotten that, because I don't think it should be illegal for felons to own firearms. I said it.
Was his felony.
It was like drug related.
Yeah, it's like, it sucks. It's just, I think the thing with that is the same as like the thing that sucks about like the sex offender, right?
Yeah,
like the term sex offender is blanketed upon everybody. That's, you know what I mean? Like even the 18-year-old guy that fucked his 16-year-old girlfriend in a certain state,
the guy that peed downtown.
The guy that pissed was drunk and pissed in an alleyway. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like they're on the same level as dudes that fucking rape kids.
My whole thing with felons in possession of a firearm is there's a lot of felonies you can commit where no one's a victim, right? Like we can all agree with that. You know, drugs, white collar crimes.
I would say there's a majority of felons. Yeah,
drugs, white collar crimes, tax evasion, stuff like that, right? It's not. No one got hurt by that.
Possession of marijuana.
Yeah, they can get you on that. I think that's actually what that. I think that's what Andrew Coffey had. If I'm not, I could be wrong. But so that if someone has served their time, whether it's a felony or not, they should be able to vote and they should be able to own a firearm to protect themselves. They've served their debt to society. Let them go out and live like the rest of us, or don't make them pay taxes because they're being taxed without being represented. That's all there is to it. If someone is such a threat and is so violent that we cannot trust them to own a firearm, they should never see the light of day again.
Yeah, they should still be in prison.
They should
That's
be in
right.
prison. If you've got a stalker or a rapist or a murderer or whatever, there's no reason that person should ever be in position to own a firearm because they should be still in prison.
And if they're going to commit violent crimes, they're probably just going to have an illegal firearm anyway.
Yeah, they're just going to get one off the street, you know?
Yeah.
Like, who fucking, you know, it's just, but yeah, so Andrew Coffey. And then I love the people calling the Rittenhouse thing a sign of white supremacy, even though he killed 2 white guys. So like, because what they're saying is, oh, if he were black in that situation, he wouldn't have gotten off. I'm like, you cannot make up scenarios to get upset about. That didn't happen. That will never happen. The odds of a black person being in the exact same situation as that and going to jail and not getting off in court are astronomically small. It's not going to happen. Dude. Yeah, you can't make scenarios up in your head to get upset about.
What would have to happen? What would have to happen is a city would have to be in a state of unlaw, basically, over a right-wing issue. Like, you're going to tell me there's going to be a city rioting over some right-wing fucking
be like a January 6th thing.
Imagine a black dude with a rifle goes to the Capitol riot.
Yeah, I'd have no issue with that. If he shot him, I'd have no problem with that. Good for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Imagine that. Yeah, imagine. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I have no issue with that. If 3 people attacked a black guy at the Capitol riot that was there to counter protest and he shot him, good for him. He did what he should have done.
Imagine like the North Carolina thing with the Nazis,
Charlottesville
guys. Yeah, Charlottesville. Yeah. Imagine if a guy showed up to Charlottesville and just killed a bunch of those guys. So he showed up with like a pistol or a rifle or something, and then all those Charlottesville protesters attacked him. I'd be like, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck
they had it coming. Don't attack people. I don't care. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care who you fuck, if it's men or women. I don't care what fucking Alibaba you get down and suck off on Sunday mornings. Don't attack people and you won't get shot. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit.
And see, the thing is that isn't important. The fact is that he showed up to a BLM protest,
right?
Which, you know, the fuck is like, I'm very careful about saying like that there was the protests for that, and then there was the riots. You know, what I mean?
There's
like,
2 different things.
There were 2 completely separate things. Yes, there were 2 separate people. And majority of the people were protesters, I will give you that. But in a lot of the cities, they were also in a state of fucking like on law, like, you know what I mean? And I mean, dude, literally what's happening in Omaha. Like, I mean,
I saw it, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it sucks, but that's just what happens in riots. You know what I mean? Like, it's chaos.
Well,
what's that?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what's going on, dude. Somebody having a fucking gun on them does not mean that you get to attack them.
Nope. Yep. And if you want to burn shit down and you want to loot and steal and destroy people's businesses, don't be surprised when the guns start coming out, man.
Well, I mean, yeah, like the city was in a riot, man. Like, and there was plenty of people that went, and like there was people that went with guns and defended black-owned businesses from rioters. You know what I mean? Like,
because a lot of them were outside agitators that were causing issues.
Yeah,
people that weren't from there.
I mean, even if it wasn't, dude.
Even if it was locals, but
who fucking cares? Like, if there's people showing up with weapons to do whatever the fuck at a protest, it's like, or at a riot. You know what I mean? He wasn't going and aiming it at people and like going to groups of protest. He wasn't anywhere near the protesters. There was what was he doing? He was doing before that. He was at like a store, like
graffiti.
I thought he was at like a small grocery store or something like that. Then was like
car dealership,
something like that. That was like actually like people were like outside of it threatening to like riot it, basically.
Where he de-escalated it. Yeah, because there were rioters outside and there were the militia guys on top of the building that were getting ready to just mow these people down if they came any closer. And Kyle actually de-escalated the rioters and got them to leave, you know? So, I mean, obviously, if he was there to do damage, he would have provoked that, you know? And you see, like everyone's saying, oh, he was an active shooter. That's why they were going to shoot him. If he was an active shooter, why did he stop at the people? As soon as he neutralized the threats, why did he stop shooting?
If he was an active shooter, why wasn't the guy with the pistol an active shooter?
Right.
Because he wasn't open carrying?
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
Didn't have a light that wasn't supposed to have that pistol. Because
how does that make sense? I don't even give a shit if he wasn't allowed to have it. It's the fact that he had it. Like, does that make him an active shooter?
Right.
It's like there's so many holes in that logic. It really just goes to that you're biased.
Retarded.
It just goes to
What?
the fact that you were biased, that it was a guy there that wasn't supporting the BLM protests. Like
It's
it's really all it comes down to. Or you're biased because he's white.
it's retard logic, man. That's really all it is.
It's emotional logic. It's
it's
you didn't like his side, so he deserved to get attacked.
people keep saying like, oh, he shouldn't have been there, he crossed state lines. I'm like, you know what, if you want to play the he shouldn't have been there thing, he had every right to be there that the rioters had, which was none.
Or the protesters, not even the rioters, the protesters.
Because there was a curfew in place. No one had any right to be out that night. Nobody did. So that, you know what happens when there's two penalties on both teams? Penalties offset for replay first down. That's what it is. They don't count. That gets canceled out. Neither of them had any right to be there, but they both were. Because if you want to play the, oh, he shouldn't have been there game, then we got to be even. We got to play it on both sides. The guys he shot had no business being there either. If they weren't there, they wouldn't have gotten shot.
Yeah, if he had no business be there, no protester in any city had the right to be there. So you're basically saying that none of the BLM protesters should have been there either, which I don't think so either. I think everybody should have been at those BLM protests.
Not the rioters.
Not the rioters, but those weren't the protesters. That's what I'm saying, is those weren't the protesters, though. Those were rioters.
Yeah, no, exactly. I just like,
for all they know, like in Omaha, there was like 6 rioters, but you know what I mean? That doesn't make it any less.
There was more than that.
I know there was less than that, but even if there was
more than 6.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, even if there was only 6, you know what I mean? Like, it's still a riot.
I honestly, man, I think back to the summer of last year was so crazy. Like, think of all the fucking riots and shit or all the protests and shit in Omaha that have just been like flare-ups and nothing happened. I thought when we had protests, I'm like, oh, it won't turn into a riot. Nothing ever happens here. And
I knew it would, man. Omaha is so fucking left wing. Like, the young people in Omaha are lefties, and they're like angry lefties, man. They're like the angry old white people that like fucking will just find things to get mad at, you know what I mean? And like, oh no, like they're the young lefties in Omaha are like that with like anything, dude.
See, everyone says you get more moderate the older you get, which I think used to be true. But if you look at Gen Z, I don't know if that's going to be true. It seems they're getting more and more liberal. Because I was hardline libertarian, all the, you know, I'm probably still more libertarian than anything, but I'm definitely much more in the center than I used to be. You know what I mean? I think there's definitely a role for government.
Maybe they say you get more moderate because you are generally, younger people are generally lefty types, because and it's weird to say that, because like lefty is because they're just kind of anti like what's going on right now, because a lot of what's going on right now fucking sucks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like just the fact of like 20 years ago of you being pro gay marriage would make you a lefty, you know what I mean? Like a pretty hard lefty.
Communist. Dude, even Obama. What people don't realize is Donald Trump was the first president ever elected to support gay marriage going into office. He was the first president to say, I support the right of same-sex couples to get married before he was elected. Not even Obama. Obama was homophobic as fuck, man.
As far as John Everyman goes, I'd say gay marriage being legal is pretty like status quo, you know what I mean?
Yeah, nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares anymore. Yeah. No,
if people care anymore, it's like, who cares about their opinion? They're not John Everyman. You know?
What are you doing with your time if you care about gay marriage in 2022 almost? Like that's my thing. No, but yeah. So I mean, what's weird to me though is that the people are not getting more centrist. They're doubling down on the extremism, and that goes on both sides to some degree.
Some people are. But they're also young 20s though. That's not being an adult. I don't consider you really, like, your brain doesn't stop forming until you turn 25. You know what I mean? Personally speaking, I was a way different person at 20 than I was at 25.
Oh, we all were. We all
exactly.
Were. And you never thought you were going to change. And I think part of your political ideology changing as you get older, and just most people, as far as most people, not becoming more conservative, because that's the old adage, is that you get more conservative as you get older. No, you get more moderate. I think that comes from you've experienced life, and you've realized that in life there's a ton of gray area, and the solution is usually somewhere in the middle, that one side is almost never totally right on one issue, and the solution is almost always somewhere in between the two. So I mean, that's usually where it goes. And I think that's where it comes from, is You get these people that are hard left and hard right. They're fucking sheltered. They're sheltered. They sit on the internet all day. They don't do shit. They go to college where their professors just fucking fan the flames of their already extreme beliefs, and they haven't done anything. So
sometimes some professors do that, not all of them.
Not
but
all
some
of
of
them.
them do.
Enough of them do it that it's a problem. You know what I mean?
And especially in what they say in like the social sciences and stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean, I've certainly not really experienced that a whole lot in business school, even at a pretty left-leaning college in a left-leaning city.
And
which I mean, most cities are, but you know what I mean?
That's good. You shouldn't have business professors that are biased. You know what I mean? Like transgender rights have nothing to do with business finance.
But they do, you know.
So, yeah, there's some moron that'll find a way to make it. But yeah, no, it's just like there's enough of them that it's an issue, and I think there's enough teachers, because I'm looking at some of the teachers that I see like on social media, and I know it only amplifies the bad ones, but it seems like it's more of a problem. You get people in there who don't have an agenda to teach your kids. They have an agenda to indoctrinate your kids. And that's just, I feel like homeschooling is going to become more and more popular, because the last year, man, people spent all day locked up with their kids while they were doing Zoom school, and they looked at some of the bullshit they were learning, and it was like, what the fuck?
Well, the thing is you can't really homeschool university. You know what I mean? Like you can
not
do
university. I'm just talking K-12.
Yeah, a lot of that shit happens in university, though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they get like the fucking English teacher that also like, you know, in his lectures about English is talking about some left-wing gobbledygook theory or some shit. You know what I mean? I'm glad that I was able to go to school when I was older, because I was able to recognize when that was happening.
Sure, same here.
Like
same
even
here.
in like my political science class, like I'm able to recognize when they'll be like, oh, we're teaching like these two like pretty traditional types, and then we'll be like, and then we'll teach this third kind of newer theory about stuff, and I'm just like, this is like some left-wing fucking horse crap, dude. Like,
yeah,
so yeah,
I don't know. I just see, like, I call it the educational industrial complex, because it's very like K through 12 teachers pound it into your heads, and it's part of the curriculum, that if you don't go to college, you're going to be digging ditches, you're going to be working at fucking Walmart, you're going to be doing whatever, right, for the rest of your life.
You know,
right?
That's
not true.
Well, no, I will say that there is some, at least when they started doing that, and even it's still true to this day, that it is shown that a college degree is the most likely thing to make you like increase your income.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that is true still. But I think one of the big things is that since they stopped doing that, like I read this thing actually in my economics class, that the reason why you see so many people not going into the trades now is because once they started kind of pushing college, they basically started doing classes in schools, high school, that were geared towards going to college. Yeah. Well, back when fucking old Dave, the fucking plumber, you know what I mean, was in high school, they taught that trade shit in high school. Yeah. So basically, people would enter into the trades already kind of knowing what to do with it, at least basically. Sure.
Yeah.
So
basics.
Yeah, and then so when they're actually learning that stuff in school, you know what I mean, they're able to go off and do a career for it. So now that's why you don't see as many people going into the trades. And honestly, that's why the trades are worth so much money now, is because there's nobody going into the trades. It's like, it's like supply and demand almost.
And there's pluses and minuses to the trades. Everyone likes to go, and they can pay you well right out of the gate. You won't have much, if any, debt. It's a respectable job for sure. But at the same time, you have to consider that that's not a job you can do as long, as opposed to somebody sitting at a desk.
It's hard labor, man. It's a physical toll it takes physical toll on your body a lot. Like plumbing, dude. Plumbing is terrible on your back and knees, dude.
On the job, death and accidents way higher. You know, it's not 100%. Like, you know,
there is negatives to it.
Yeah, for sure, and there's positives as well. But it's just something people have to consider because there's a big movement now, and I support a lot of it. That it's Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs. He's one of the ones pushing it, and I support a lot of it. I think we definitely need to get more people in the trades. We definitely need to get these kids away from the
get more women in the trades.
Exactly, man. The scam that is universities and college. But at the same time, it's like always considered the negatives, because they right now these people talking trade, they're a lot like the army recruiters that come to high schools and coach kids. Like, they won't tell you about any of the negatives. But there's a big movement to get the Army and Air Force and Marines and Navy banned from recruiting in schools, in high schools.
Honestly, man, that might be. I don't know. I went to the military right after high school, and like now that I think about it, man, I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have been in the Army at fucking 17, dude.
Right.
Like,
well, there's a lot of evidence that they prey on lower income areas.
They do. They prey on, because I think it's, I don't think it's that they prey on it.
Yeah.
I think it's more of that younger kids are more likely, like 18 to 20 age frame, are just more likely to join the military, man. Like, they don't know what they're doing in life. They're more susceptible to like somebody being like, hey, like, you want to do this? You know what I mean?
Sure.
And like, I don't think that's necessarily on the recruiters, man, because the recruiters just are looking to put whatever in there. You know what I mean?
They got a quota.
Yeah, well, they're trying to just meet numbers, and like, they don't give a shit if it's a kid or a fucking, you know what I mean? But who's more, they fucking are like, they're like Indian men on the internet. They just will go after literally everybody. It's just who bites more
on the internet.
Who bites more, the 18 to 20-year-olds, you know what I mean? So like,
not with Indian men, they don't.
Yeah, not with Indian men. 18 to 20-year-olds don't bite, but you know what I mean? Like, they're shooting their shot at literally everybody.
Right.
And like literally everybody. So like, who's the one that bites more?
Yeah.
The fucking kids in high school.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Who's also gonna bite more? The kids in high school that see the GI Bill and are like, damn, dude, there's no way I'm gonna fucking do college without getting 40 grand in debt. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so who bites more?
Yeah, no, exactly. No,
Exactly.
You got to shoot for you got to go for your target demographic, right? Like, I don't
think they're necessarily targeting them. I think they're just who bites more.
Yeah, it's most likely to do it. Like, when I advertise for shows, I look for the most likely, people that are going to go to our shows. Speaking of predators, there's a new YouTube channel. It's called Omaha Creep Control, OCC.
Oh yeah.
It's to catch a predator in Omaha, and they'll
that's awesome.
They've got accounts on all the apps, Grindr, Tinder, fucking Bumble, whatever the new ones are. They're on all of them, and they'll get like dudes to message them, and they'll be like, I'm only 14, are you okay with that? Yeah, no, that's fine. Are you sure? I'm only 14. And the guy will send them pictures unsolicited. He'll ask them for pictures. And then they'll schedule a meetup with them, and they'll go and they'll get them on camera, and they've like got the guy. They're like, you're going on the fucking internet. Now, the only thing that's going to prevent you from going, and they won't call the cops. They won't beat them up, nothing like that. But they go, the only thing that's going to keep you from going to jail and us from calling the cops on you right now is if you call your parents and tell them what you're doing right now.
And how old are the people that they're like?
They're like 40s, 50s. Some of them have wives. They make them call their wives, husbands, whatever. And it's fucking great, man.
That's pretty, man. That's good, man.
Just how they caught one guy leaving his job because he like told him he'd meet him right up the street. And they're like, if you don't call your mom and dad, we're gonna walk into your job
in Omaha.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
it's at a McDonald's on 168th. So I will never eat at that McDonald's now. It's good to know. Because if you don't call your fucking parents right now, I'm walking into that McDonald's and I'm showing them the pictures of your asshole that you sent to a 14-year-old boy. Now that's cancel rough. Culture I can get behind, right? That's not somebody making a joke about trans people and getting fired. That's like
ousting pedophiles. Yeah, man.
That's an actual child molester. Those aren't
minorly. What is it?
Minorly
attracted peoples.
Yeah, fuck those guys. No, not literally. Don't fuck. Yeah, I mean, and it's a super weird hill.
It's a fringe thing right now, but dude, like, there's people that are legitimately trying to ally pedophiles with LGBT people, and like, dude, I remember being a kid back in the day, like, it was just LGB, you know what I mean? Like, being transgender had nothing to do with like that, it was like a separate thing. But that's how they basically made it to where transgender issues seemed more.
Yeah, it got accepted.
It made transgender issues seem more fucking like mainstream, or like more like logical, I guess. You know what I mean? By making it being like, oh, if you're against trans people, you're against gay people, and you're like,
they
well,
group themselves in.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the Chappelle joke in his last special in Sticks and Stones about how the gays are the ones driving, the L's are in the back seat, and the B's are in the back seat, or the front seat, and the B's are in the back seat with the T's, and the T's are sitting up against the window, and everyone just, would you shut the fuck up every time they talk? It literally,
basically, man.
They've gotten like
remember that Reddit group that was really big, that was LGB minus the T.
Yes.
And it was like basically conservative gay people and bi people that were really like against like transgender people basically hijacking like gay rights issues and making it about transgender issues as well, when it's really not the same.
Make everything about them.
Basically it's trying to make it a point to where being transgender isn't a mental disease or mental disorder because being gay isn't, and like being gay isn't.
No,
but apparently being transgender isn't either.
Gender dysphoria is a real thing, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. Like, if you're a grown ass adult that, you know, I'm a man and I feel like a woman, who fucking go ahead and do it. I don't give a shit. Right. But that doesn't mean
I don't think I think that the general consensus among people that are like kind of not on that side is that they don't give a shit if people are fucking doing it. It's more of like it's more of like institutional rules being changed for it, like sports being rules being changed.
0.003% of the population.
Yeah, if you don't think that if you don't think that it's an issue that women's sports could potentially basically be hijacked by transgender women.
Yeah,
because physiologically there's, you know what I mean? Like that's a fucking issue, man.
You don't like seeing a guy who was a man for 34 years beat the shit out of a female MMA fighter? What do you hate gay people? Like,
dude.
That's literally
what transphobic. It's like, you know,
and the gays are like, we don't want nothing to do with this.
And I mean,
like,
there's people that speak out about like people like fucking what's her name, the fucking Harry Potter bitch, what's her name,
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling speaking out against shit like that and basically being blackballed by the fucking the lefties.
Who fucking cares? She made her money. She's worth like $1 billion. She made her money.
Yeah, it's just, I think the fact that like there is even trans exclusionary feminists is like a thing is so funny, dude, because it's like the lefties eating themselves, you know.
The left is a huge circular firing squad. Huge. It's they're constantly like a perfect example today. Excuse me, the Women's March, right? The thing that started as like an anti-Trump thing in DC. They send out an email to their donors with the title $14.92. That was the subject line. They sent it out to their donors. And then the email said, we need everyone to donate $14.92 this week. Well, $14.92 was the average that they had for last month, right? And they were basically making the point, if everyone donated $14.92, we would be able to make however much money for our cause, blah, blah, blah. They received so much backlash because of the rhyme, the nursery rhyme. Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. And they said that it was racist against indigenous people because they did it right before Thanksgiving. They said $14.92 because I'm like, that's a reach. If it was $14.88, I could see that. $14.92. I like, because my girlfriend is indigenous, right? She's native. I showed her that. I'm like, when you see $14.92, I'm like, when you see this, do you think Christopher Columbus? And she's like, no, I just like I see $1.
What do you mean
amount.
indigenous
like,
people? He landed in like fucking Costa Rica.
Right?
Like, what do you mean? Like the Sioux Nation gets offended at Christopher Columbus? Like, what do you mean by fucking indigenous? I think you need to be a little more specific there, dude. I don't think the Wampanoag tribe people in Maine give a flying fuck about Christopher Columbus. At least the smart ones don't.
Literally, like, no, it's. I mean,
you know what's funny too is most Native American people that I meet are so like fucking uncaring about that kind of shit. They're just like. They're just like want to be normal people, you know what I mean? They're just like, dude, like just let me fucking exist.
Let me have Thanksgiving. Let me have Thanksgiving with my family. Let me have, let me like Columbus Day. Yeah.
They think they're like these stoic fucking people like, yes,
Yeah, no,
Like,
that's literally like you see, and it's called the racism of the soft racism of low expectations. Literally, you see these fucking woke retards talking about, oh, protect indigenous people, like they live in teepees and they dance around a fucking fire and still hunt buffalo for a living. No, asshole. Most of them, like,
well,
most
I
of them,
do know that there is a big issue of alcoholism among reservations, but it's like you should try to solve that, not as in they're victims of more than just like it's a.
Yeah, solve that instead of fucking virtue signaling about Thanksgiving. You know what I mean,
dude?
Like, solve real issues. Like, there's real issues on reservations. Real issues being that women on reservations go missing at a much higher rate than any other ethnicity in the country, and the federal government doesn't do dick about it.
Is that true? That's a pretty interesting statistic, man.
There are so many Native American women in this country that are missing, and the federal government doesn't do a goddamn thing about it. So the local sheriff doesn't have any jurisdiction on a res, right? They can't do anything. The only people that can show up and do it, they have reservation police, which are almost always underfunded, and then they have the feds can show up, and the feds aren't going to do a goddamn thing. They got to go out and harass journalists and look into the January 6th nonsense. And
that's kind of what you get the double sword when it comes to, like, if you're going to have a reservation that's entirely independent of the US government, then you're not going to get any of the fucking benefits of the US government. You know what I mean? Like,
right. That's literally,
I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't speak too much against reservation issues because I don't know very much about it.
Yeah.
Now I can, however, speak against the fiat shit now because I'm pretty well knowledged about the fucking Federal Reserve and stuff now. So.
Oh, fuck those guys. Fuck them. Fuck the Fed. But yeah, no. So that's the shitty part is a lot of people go missing on reservations, and it's almost always due to trafficking, and nobody can do anything because the cops are underfunded. The feds are the only one who can.
Do they even have any jurisdiction? Does even state governments have jurisdiction on reservations? I don't think they do.
If I were to walk up to a reservation, if I were to take someone out there and shoot them in the back of the head because I wanted to get rid of them, the sheriff couldn't do a thing about it.
It'd be like if somebody did that in Mexico, like, and that happens in Mexico. People go and murder people in Mexico all the fucking time.
That's a capital crime. The feds could come get me, but how much are they going to care? You know, if it happened on a reservation, that's basically God's blind spot in their eyes.
Well, yeah, there'd have to be a local investigator. Like, it doesn't start with the FBI.
No,
it starts with locals.
Locals would have to someone would have to discover it. Local police would have to get involved, call the feds, and it's just no one's going to care to look. You know, that's. The FBI is more involved with doing shit with like fucking organized gang crime, so they don't care about. They're not gonna do that. Like some Yahoo got murdered on a reservation, or some Yahoo murdered somebody on a reservation. No, they're not gonna care. Literally, they're not gonna care. It's super.
They're gonna be like, we have more pressing matters to attend to. Like,
yeah, well, man, you want to go into conspiracy mode? They ain't looking into the trafficking because they're the ones doing it. But that's or their bosses. I don't think
they're the ones doing it, man.
Their bosses are.
They might have individuals in the FBI that are benefiting from it, you know what I mean, but I don't think the FBI as an organization is doing it.
They have a department. You just call them trafficking department.
Yeah, the human trafficking department.
Wait, is this
you bring them, we see them.
Yeah,
how can we help you today?
Well, dude, trafficking, like, it's weird because when you talk about trafficking, you're almost always just immediately like, oh, you must be QAnon, right? You got to be QAnon. Trafficking's a real fucking thing, and it's more, yeah, like, because in the last year, because I see it all the time, people talking about, oh, it's not trafficking, it's not, like, human trafficking doesn't exist became like an official platform of the Democratic Party at some point over the last year and a half. Yeah, I see. I don't see that
anywhere.
I see it all the time. People trying to debunk things about human trafficking. Oh, it rarely happens in America. Blah blah. I'm like, no, it happens all the time. Like it. Remember, we had Anthony Connor on here, fucking head of the police union or police association, right? And we asked him because that was right when those rumors were going around about women being approached in like Walmarts and Target parking lots and shit about if they were connected to trafficking. And you know, everyone, there's all these things out there. Oh, very rarely did they go after white women in nicer areas, blah blah blah. And he even said, he's a fucking cop, he even said that's not true. Like, anyone can be a victim of trafficking. There have been legitimate cases of people trying to abduct people in plain sight out of a Walmart parking lot. Like, it's a thing. It fucking happens. It doesn't just happen to poor women in minority areas. Like, it happens everywhere. And it's like,
if it only happens rarely and it's not an issue, then women getting raped in frat parties isn't an issue either, because it just it happens once a year. It just never happens, dude. It's not a fucking issue.
It's not an issue. They're gonna take that little clip out of context.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's
Just the text of it. They're not gonna see me saying it like a fucking dipshit. Like,
yep. No, that's no, but so the last thing, we got to wrap it up pretty soon here. But did you see Best Buy, the email they sent out to their employees today?
No. Oh man, oh god, what is it? That sounds hilarious.
Number one, I didn't even know Best Buy was still in business. Like I can't.
Oh, I shop at Best Buy. I like shopping at Best Buy.
I think it's a money laundering scheme at this point.
For what?
So Best Buy's
Caleb's job is to basically make outrageous claims, and it's mine to say whether or not they have any tact. Or anything.
I throw shit on the wall. I just throw stuff at a dartboard, and he's the board as far as how many points I get. So
yeah, great. I score them.
This is from Best Buy. Mark Irvin, Chief Inclusion, Diversity, and Talent Officer. This message was sent to all Employee Resource Group members. The verdict in Kyle Rittenhouse's trial stirs in many emotions, and it's another difficult moment for our nation. While these events can be challenging and deeply hurtful, I hope you will all take a moment to reflect on the values that unite us as a company and as a nation. We can do better, and we will do better, as each of us as individuals, allies, and human beings press together for better outcomes. I know events like these can take a toll on your mental health and emotional well-being. Please know Best Buy is here to support you. You're encouraged to take advantage of our mental health resources, including the Life Solutions counseling services. The Employee Assistance Program, EAP, offers free confidential services available 24/7 for all employees and anyone living in their household. By engaging together and supporting one another in vulnerability, empathy, courage, and grace, we can continue to strengthen our community and company to stand together as one. Steadfast together, Mark. So basically, they're offering free counseling for anyone that was triggered by the Rittenhouse verdict.
I don't give a shit about that verdict, and I would go there just to get like paid time to go and talk to bullshit about something.
Right. No, I would go on and be like, yeah, I agree with the verdict. Just the counseling.
Yeah, like I'm deeply affected by the fact that people don't agree with the verdict, dude. It makes me feel threatened to be white.
Yeah, it makes me feel like,
oh man, I would do that on company time. Dude.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
If my boss was like, no, you can't do that, I'd fucking be like, can I get that in written fucking form, please? So I can forward it to Mark.
Yeah. You probably get fired if you said that. Did you see
the guy that would tell you to do that would probably fire you?
Did you see Michael Malice's tweet?
No. What is
he's like?
I saw a Michael Malice tweet. I don't remember which one.
He said, my 3-year-old nephew just came up to me and said, Uncle Malice, does the Rittenhouse verdict mean that if I hit someone in the head with a skateboard and then try to pull a gun on them, they can shoot me? There was another one that was even funnier. I don't remember.
I think I saw that one, but I think the other one that you're gonna say is the one I saw that I thought was really funny. Like,
this one wasn't Malice. This one was something about like, oh fuck, I screenshotted it. I know I got it somewhere. My 3-year-old gay son came up to me. This first one says, I pulled my kids out of school to teach them the importance of this trial. We just sat and cried on the couch for an hour. And the reply goes, my 3-year-old gay son came to me with tears in his eyes. Is Kyle Rittenhouse going to kill me, Daddy? I started sobbing. I couldn't lie. Yes.
Oh my God, dude.
The child did not say that. I love that shit, man. When people make
and then everyone clapped.
Their kids talk like a fucking 75-year-old historian or English lit major. Something like
Mother, does this imply that,
no, shit.
that Kyle Rittenhouse will ascertain my location and come and murder me when I least expect it?
I always love those posts, man. Like I don't know. Number one, I don't know why people still think anyone's gonna buy that line of shit. Like you're 6 years, like it gets more and more ridiculous. Your 6-month-old is not going to understand like in-depth advanced economic theory, and that's like half of it. It's like my 7-year-old came up to me and was like, Mom, Did you know that the value of surplus labor equals blah blah? The child did not say that. Shit, man. All right, we got to wrap it
Mother,
up.
did you know that stagnant wages have corresponded with GDP increases for the last 40 years
Mother,
in United States history?
Inflation. It's your kids talking inflation and shit. So we should probably wrap it up here. Unless you got anything you want to say or plug or no? All right. Well,
I'm triggered by the Rittenhouse thing. So Best Buy, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
I think the verdict was incorrect because I think he also should have gotten a reward for it. That's
yeah,
what
he should have gotten another gun.
They gave him a second gun
as a reward.
It's like, son, what if that was how court worked? If you killed someone and got off, you get a prize. You get another gun.
Yeah, dude. Like if that fucking wife like kills her husband in self-defense in a domestic dispute, they should be like, yay, and like give her another gun.
You in another room like it's Chuck E. Cheese. You get to pick one off the wall.
Yeah, dude, I want that. I want the Mac 10. Yeah.
Can I get the AK? Yeah. Oh my God.
Anyway, and Chad in based America.
Oh, I know, right? You get off on drug charges, you get to go pick a drug, and you know it's a DUI charges. You get like a bottle of liquor. You know, it all varies depending on the crime, right?
I don't know if somebody could like not.
Yeah, DUI is pretty black and white.
Yeah,
you'd have to prove that like the cops fucked with you or something like that to get off, and even then it would be tough.
I don't even know how you would like. Yeah, it's pretty black and white DUI cases usually, because usually if they didn't do anything, like if they didn't get into something bad happen under the DUI, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's pretty hard to be like a DUI checkpoint, like, oh yes, it was faked that he blew a fucking .2, like,
right? Yeah. Husband gets off on domestic violence charges. He gets to go pick a free ice pack for his knuckles. You know, it's that kind of stuff, right?
Oh God, dude.
Child abuse. You get a new kid.
Get a new kid.
Yeah,
I think that'd be counterproductive.
Yeah, you get a second kid if you get off on that. No. So anyway, we'll wrap it up with that. Harmful Content Comedy, Saturday, December 4th, Wired Pub. If you're a Bread and Circuses listener, you get $5 off if you use the code BREAD, BREAD. Online and Eventbrite. That'll be posted in the description everywhere. I know I had something else. Oh yeah, Thanksgiving's coming up. Happy Thanksgiving to all you guys from all of us.
Except you Canadian bastards. You don't get a happy Thanksgiving. That's our word.
Or Thanksgiving's in like June, I think, or September, some weird shit.
But they don't have anything to be thankful for. Nope. Fuck you, Canada.
Not a goddamn thing. Fuck Canada. I am, contrary to popular belief, I am allowed to celebrate Thanksgiving despite my ethnic relationship. I am allowed to celebrate it.
What do you mean contrary?
That's the running joke. That is a running joke amongst comics, because I put a message up, was like, hey, the mic we run on Thursdays will not be going on Thanksgiving. Needless to say, like, if you want to come, I'll give you a fucking hug because you're lonely. And then there's like I think it was Nate Prusha or somebody commented something about, I didn't think you were allowed to celebrate that holiday. I thought it said that everyone's just been clowning me for the last week about how I'm not allowed to celebrate Thanksgiving. Like, guys, like, people don't realize, like people overestimate both of our ethnicities. Like, Mia was not raised in a teepee. I am a Midwestern Italian. That is a big difference. I wasn't born on the Jersey Shore. Like, you know, it's like there's a difference. Like, I'm not the Sopranos. Dude, when the thing is, when your family lives in the Midwest long enough, you all become white people.
You just become Midwest.
Midwest is essentially a race, right? Like, you all become white people. You all have
ethnicity, yeah.
Right. You all eventually, all your family gatherings consist of burgers, hot dogs, and potato salad. Like, no matter what color you are, what religion, race, anything like that, the longer your family lives in the Midwest, you all just become white. You all become Midwestern. That's your race.
Midwestern.
Your culture. That's what we are.
It can be white. It can be white because it's just, I think it's the same thing with black people. Like, Midwest black people, you go to a Midwest black people barbecue, it's gonna probably have burgers and
hot dogs.
I got some good ribs though.
Might have. It depends. It depends how many people are there, because you don't want to make ribs for a bunch of people.
You come to my family's grill on a fucking, you get some good ribs.
Yeah, I guess it depends, but yeah, no. So I mean, yeah, Midwest is essentially a race.
It's
we are
an ethnicity.
neither. Yeah, no. She does not wear a headdress and dance around a fire. I don't commit insurance fraud. Like none of that happens. We're both very Midwestern. No, I do not commit insurance fraud. I don't do protection scheme.
I do not commit insurance fraud.
I don't do protection schemes and bust kneecaps and shit like that. So yeah. We'll end it on that.
Complain that somebody's cutting in front of you in the laundromat.
I get to see I'm walking in.
I'm walking in.
I should just start acting like an East Coast Italian in the Midwest and see how long it takes for someone to punch me.
I'm fucking walking in. Don't you see me? I'm walking.
Hey, forget about it. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Hey, my mama, she cooked me a galagisha yesterday. It's pretty good.
My Polish mom. All right. Anyway, peace the fuck out, you guys. Thank you.
Deuces, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving.